Hi everybody, it's Honest John again. Regime change. That's been the clarion call of U.S. policy in the Middle East. We are going to get rid of all those dictators and give the people freedom and democracy. So we got rid of Saddam Hussein, and instead of freedom and democracy, the people got chaos. Basically, all we did was switch the oppressors with the oppressed, so that when we were done, the Shiites, who had been oppressed by the Sunnis, were now oppressing them. We got rid of Muammar Gaddafi in Libya, which led to total chaos there. We insisted that Hosni Mubarak had to go in Egypt, which led to the ascendance of the Muslim Brotherhood there, which led to more chaos there, more oppression, and finally the military had to step in and take over the country. And we insisted that Assad had to be replaced in Syria, and then stood by helplessly as civil war broke out. In every case, the outcome has been worse than what was already there. And these things were done initially by the Bush administration, but continued by the Obama administration. And they spring from our naive belief that democracy and freedom will bring out the best in people. That an election will put the right people into positions of leadership. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. Democracy is only as good as the people that are in it. And the Middle East has been ruled by brutal dictators for years. And this has fostered extremism in the people. And so people voted their interests. They voted their side. Democracy didn't work. In order for democracy to work, you have to have an electorate that is informed, educated, and moderate. Our experiment with democracy in the Middle East was doomed from the outset. And it may be doomed here in the United States, because our electorate is not the electorate it used to be. Mainstream conservatism no longer exists. It has been replaced by religious fanaticism and ignorant fascism. Now, I know some of you will say, well, what about the extremism on the left? And my response would be, what about it? Now, I'm sure that there are left-wing extremists out there, but where are they? Where are the leftist bombers and assassins? It is the right who dominates the violence and terrorism that happens here in the U.S. by our citizens. It is right-wing extremists who are setting fire to mosques and trying to bomb health clinics and killing cops. And then as far as our political sphere goes, I mean, look at the House and the Senate. It's loaded with right-wing crackpots and demagogues. And when these so-called conservatives engage in like casual racism, they rail against political correctness. Now, as I said, there are left-wing extremists out there. But they don't have their hands on the levers of power, do they? And we have millions of people who put a tremendous amount of effort into keeping themselves both uninformed and misinformed. Obvious truths are ignored and lies embraced like long-lost lovers. Our democracy is failing. See, democracy is just another form of government and only as good as the people who live in it. A dictator is really no worse than a bad president and an ignorant Congress. Thanks for listening.